Hello guys, and welcome to another video of Kotlin for Beginners playlist. This is the fourth part of videos of functions in this playlist, and today we're going to talk about higher order functions and extension functions. And maybe if we have some time, we're going to discuss the infix modifier. So let's start. Here I have a function called reverse name. What it does, it just takes a name as a parameter and it returns the name, or returns the reversed version of this name. And the implementation, as you can see, just have a variable to save the every character or to hold the name reversed. And here we have a loop. We access the index of every character within this name, so this indices, and we do this with the for loop and the indices range here, which is of type range, int range. But instead of starting from 0 to the size, or the size -1 of the name, we start from the size -1 to 0, as I have included reversed here, the reverse method, which reverses the indices of the name. And for every iteration, we take the character and we add it to the name reversed here. Once we're done, we return the result. Great. And if we run the program now, we have nothing because we didn't print the result of this function here. So let's just print the result. Add this into a println function. I'm going to print, or we're going to run the program. And here's the result. So the answer reversed is this one here. Great. So let's start with discussing the higher order function. Higher order function is just a feature of Kotlin that lets you pass a function to another function. And the pass function is going to be passed as an argument here within the arguments list. Okay, so why are we doing this? This is useful when you want to change the function behavior. So say for example, this function, what it does is just returns the first name of the argument, but we want to change its behavior. Just to, for example, print when it's or print the number of iteration, or print the number of iteration along with the character that it has access to it. So for that, let's make a higher order function, or pass a function to our function here. So passing a function to a function, it's just similar to passing an argument to a function. Here we're going to just name the function which you're going to pass. So I'm going to call it my function, for example, my func here, short. And now we can specify the type. So in the last video we discussed some of the functional type, and here specifying the type is similar to what we had in our last video. So here I'm just going to specify the type of this function, what it takes and what it does. So I'm going to say that this function takes a string, as it's going to print our number of iteration for every iteration within this loop, and it returns nothing. So the way to do this, as we have discussed, is unit. Great. And notice here the compiler says we missed an argument. So let's make our function here. From the last video we learned how to make an anonymous function or a lambda function. Doing both of them here, then passing them, is no harm. So I'm gonna just start with an anonymous function. So printing function, I'm gonna call printing func equal to fun. I'm gonna take a string, must be, yeah, I'm gonna take a string and it returns unit. No, take this colon, it returns unit, and then we open the body. Great. Notice here we have to add the naming, or we have to name our argument. So x is of type string and this function returns unit. Great. And now what we do here is just print the result that we have passed from our anonymous function, which is x here. Our anonymous function is done. All we have to do is just passing it to the reverse function here. So I'm going to pass it, print func, and all good. Great. The last thing to do is just to call our function here within the loop. So we want the function to print the number of iteration along with the character that it has access to it. So now let's call the function my func, and here it takes a string. So we are at index number number index, and we are at char name index. This is how we get access to the char. This is how we get access to the index. Now, if we run the program, we're gonna see that for every iteration within the loop, it prints where is the loop at for the index and for the character as well. For example, 4, when the index is 4, at char O, 3, R, so on and so forth. And lastly, it prints the result reversed from our print statement here. Learning about higher order functions at first might seem a little bit tricky, but when you practice them, you eventually gonna master them. And for the sake of practice, I'm gonna make another function together. Just gonna be so simple. It's just gonna take a number from the user here, and it's gonna pass the number to another function just to print it. So nothing very special. I'm gonna make a function here called fun get num, and it takes a number of type x or an x of type number, and here we're gonna make our function. So I'm gonna just call it p, and what it does, it just takes an int and it returns nothing, as it's going only to print the passed number from this function here. Now let's open the body of the getNum function, and here what all we're gonna do is just p, call the p function, and we pass our number. That's it. Great. And here we just prompt the user to enter a number, then enter a number, and then we call the getNum function. Then we pass the num, and lastly we provide or we implement our function here. So instead of making a new variable just to make a lambda or make an anonymous function, there are two ways to do this. First one, you could implement it here directly within the parentheses. So add the comma, then open the curly braces and implement your function here. Println it. It refers to the number passed to the function, which is x is passed to p, which it takes a p, which it takes an int, and that x is passed to us here, so we can print it. And you can also name it. So I'm gonna name it num, and don't forget to add the arrow here just to get access to it. And we run the program. Enter a number. I'm just gonna enter 10, and here we got 10. And the other way, or another way to write the higher order function is, or to pass the function to a function, is that whenever you have a function as the last parameter in the parameters list, you could get rid of having this parentheses here, or parentheses. So just pass the number here, which is the num, and implement the function outside of the parentheses, and you're gonna notice how it looks neater and much more simpler. And here we get the same access to our number, println num, and it's going to work just as before. We have learned how to make a higher order function. Now let's see the predefined higher order functions in Kotlin standard library. So for example, I have a list here and I wish to filter this list only to get the even numbers within this list itself. So for that, I'm going to use a function called filter. And as you can see, this function has a lambda because it's a higher order function. And if you hit Control and click on the function, you'd see that it's a function called filter, and it takes a function called predicate. And this function, or the predicate function, takes an argument of type t and returns a boolean. So type t here points to a generic type. We're going to discuss this in the classes videos. All you need to know is that it takes anything and it returns a boolean value. So here we have to return some kind of a boolean value, or the predicate of filtering this list here. And you can see here we having a reference or something resembles each number on this list. So I'm just going to call it a number, and I'm going to have this arrow here. Now I want the number, or I want each number of this list to be divisible by 2. So num must be divisible by 2 equals 0 or equals 0. So this is a Boolean value, the same as the filter or the predicate here needs a Boolean value returned. And as we have learned in the last video, we don't have to add or to add the return here. Lambdas always takes the last line. You could also just return at filter. So this is just going to work just without the return, but this is just redundant since we want the code to be shorter, for example. Now the filter function returns a list of type t. So we could save the new list here. So val even list equal to this list returned from the filter. Now let's print the even list. So println even list to string, and let's run the program. And here we get our list. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And they are all evens. We also have a lot of higher order functions in the Kotlin standard library, just like map, map indexed, and there are just a lot of higher order functions you can play with and try around. Now, before we head to the extension functions, I want to note one thing about data types in Kotlin. So all data types in Kotlin are considered to be a class. And you can see here our variable is of type string, and if we type string here and press Ctrl then left click with the mouse, you'd see that the class is named string. And the same thing with other data types like int, for example, it's class called int. Great, and you can see within the class itself that it has a couple of functions like compare to, plus, minus, and a lot of stuff. So extension functions, as the name suggests, they are used to add extra functionality to a class. And classes are just a blueprint of something or an object of something. We're going to discuss more about classes in the classes videos. Now we just want to add an extra functionality to our string class or to the string class. So I have a weird functionality or a weird or custom functionality that I want to add to the string class, which is deleting the first and the last character of a string. So I want to be left with only str or whatever string I would have, like example car. I want to be left with a, for example. So this is the functionality that I wish to make. So before creating our extension function, I will create a regular function. Then we will create another edition of this function in an extension function. So let's create our regular function first. So fun, remove first and last, and it's gonna take a name of type string, and it's gonna return the result, which is after modifying the string. And here, what I want to do is just return the name dot substring. So substring is used to have a snapshot or have a cut of our string here. So as you can see, it has multiple overloads. I'm going to use the second one, which starts from the index. So from where do you want to cut this string? I want to cut it from 1. So I don't want to include the first one as I only want str. And then we are going to have the end index. So end index is not included. So just till what or till when do you want us to cut this string? So I want to cut it string to the last index. For that, I'm just going to call name dot last index, and the result is going only to be str if we use the asterisk string here. Great. Now let's try to call our function here. So println remove first and last, and here we pass our name. If we run the program, and here is our result, str. Great. So we made this with our regular function here. And you can see we have to pass the name. So what if we only want to call the function as if it was within the string class? So for example, name dot compare to. So this is a function within the string class here. So we want to call a function with the dot here. So to do that, we have to convert our function to an extension function. But I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to have a copy. I'm going to have just a copy of it. And here I'm going to make it an extension function. So the way to make a function an extension function, you have to add the class name or the data type name before the function and separate them with a dot. So for that, I'm going to have string and dot. Great. And now we can get rid of this parameter here as it's not needed. And the way to refer to the string where we call the function upon, like this one. So how this function knows that we call the name, or how to pass the name to this function instead of having it within the parameters, with the extension here. Now, how to access the string that we called upon this function is with the this keyword. So now this refers to the string where we called the function on, and here also I'm going to pass this. Great. Let's just comment this out because it has the same name. Oh, I'm just gonna change its name to b1, and here instead of passing the name to the function, I'm gonna call the name on the function. So I'm just gonna println name dot remove first and last, and notice here we have it on the list. Now let's run the program, and we're gonna get the same result, even str, even if we try with another thing. For example, just maybe asterisk coding, we're not gonna get A and G. Perfect, as we expect. Now it's time to learn about the infix modifier. Remember, in the third or the fourth video of this playlist, we have talked about, or we have learned about, how to create a map in Kotlin. We created a map with the map function here, and we had to map every key to a value with the 2 here. And the 2 here is an infix function. And you can see in its implementation, it was tagged with the infix modifier here. And you can notice that the calling to this function, or how we call this function, is pretty much different than any function that we have ever made till now. So here I wish to create a function or an infix function that adds a number to another and prints the result. So let's start making our function. So I'm just gonna call it an infix fun. I'm gonna call it add2, and it's gonna take one parameter or one argument of type int, and it's just gonna print the result. But notice here we have an error saying that infix function must be an extension function. And as you see here in our to function, it was a generic type, or it was an extension function, or of a generic type. And generic types, we're going to discuss them in future videos. So our infix function here must be an extension function. So we wish to add a number to another, so it's going to be an extension function of the int class. And the way to refer to the number where we call this function on is with the this keyword. So this refers to the int where we call it, and here we're going to add the x here. So this number plus the past number, then print the result. And here we're going to call our function. So you can try it with integers. So I'm going to call it 10 add to 20. And notice here how we call it. It's just so much neater than having the parentheses, and the dot here just to do all this stuff. No, we don't need that with the infix modifier. And now if we run the program, we are going to have this result here, which is 30. Now, that was all for today's video, and this is the last part of the functions videos on this playlist. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future videos.